In this video, we will learn how to factor general quadratic trinomials when the coefficient of the first term is equal to 1. The general form of a quadratic trinomial is ax squared plus bx plus c. But in this case, a is 1, so we only have x squared in the first term. The factors of this expression consist of two binomials with x and x, the square root of the first term as the first terms in the binomial factors. Then we have to find two numbers m and n. How do we do that? We have to think of two factors of c, the third term, two factors of this, that add up to b. So if we add the two numbers, it should be equal to the coefficient of x. So again, if we multiply the two numbers m and n, we should get c, the third term. And if we add them up, we should get the coefficient b of the second term. Before we consider any problem, let's remember the first step of factoring any given expression, and that is to factor out the common monomial factor. Okay, well, we can have a shortcut here. In this case, again, the coefficient of the first term, or a, is equal to 1. So we always have 1 as the coefficient of the first term. Therefore, I think we can skip the part of asking whether we have a common monomial factor, because we always have here 1, and on the other terms we have different numbers, so there is no common monomial factor. Anyway, so yes, this is a general quadratic trinomial. So to factor, square root of x squared is x, so we have here two binomials, we write x and x. Then we have to think of these two numbers. How do we do that? Okay, again, we have to think of two factors of the third term such that that add up to the coefficient of the second term. So what are the factors of 12? We can have 1 times 12, but they won't add up to 7. How about 2 times 6? No. How about 3 times 4? Well, yes, they can add up to 7. Since both the second and third terms are positive, we know that the two numbers that we are looking for are both positive. Let's check. Let's try using 3 and 4. Okay, so 3 times 4 is 12. 3 plus 4 is 7. So these are the two numbers that we are looking for, 3 and 4. So over here we write plus 3, and there we write plus 4. Let's say we have to factor m squared minus 10m plus 21. Okay, this is a general quadratic trinomial with, yes, the coefficient here is equal to 1. So the factors are two binomials with the square root of m squared is m, so m and m. Now we have to look for two numbers. Two numbers, yeah. So for that, we have to think of two factors of 21 that can add up to 10. What are the factors of What are the factors of 21? So we have 1 times 21, but they won't add up to 10 or negative 10. How about 3 times 7? Yes, they can add up to 10 or negative 10. Now, since the third term is positive and the second term, or while the second term is negative, we should get the clue that the numbers that we are looking for are both negative, because negative times negative is positive and negative plus negative is negative. So let's try negative 3 and negative 7. To check, negative 3 times negative 7 is positive 21. And negative 3 plus negative 7 is negative 10. So these are the two numbers that we are looking for. So we write over here negative 3 and negative 7. Oh, by the way, of course, we can write, instead of m minus 3 times m minus 7, we can write m minus 7 times m minus 3. Because, remember, Multiplication is commutative. Next problem. Let's say we have to factor p squared plus 6p minus 16. Okay, so this is a general quadratic trinomial with a is equal to 1. So for the factors, we have two binomials. The square root of p squared is p, so we have a p, and over there we have p. Now we have to look for two numbers. So what are the factors of 16? That can add up to 6. Okay, 1 times 16 won't add up to 6. How about 2 times 8? Yes, they can add up to 6. So let's consider 2 and 8. How about the signs? Since the third term is negative and the second term is positive, we know that that one of the numbers should be positive and the other should be negative. But which one is positive? Is it the smaller or the larger number? Since the sum here should be positive, the larger number should be positive. So we should try, what are the numbers again? 2 and 8. So we should try negative 2 and positive 8. Let's check. Negative 2 times 8 is negative 16. And negative 2 plus 8 is positive 6. So these are the two numbers that we are looking for. So we can write here plus 8 and minus 2. Next problem. Let's say we have to factor y squared minus 7x minus 18. This is a general quadratic trinomial with a equal to 1. So the factors are two binomials. The square root of y squared is y, so we have a y, and over there we have y. Now we have to look for two numbers. Okay, so we think of two factors of negative 18 and that can add up to negative 7. What are the factors of 18? 1 times 18. They won't add up to 7. How about 2 times 9? Yes, they can add up to 7. Okay, now since the third term is negative, we know that one of the numbers should be positive and the other should be negative. Since the sum is negative, the larger number should be negative. So let's try to use positive 2 and negative 9. The larger number should be negative. Let's check. 2 times negative 9 is negative 18. 2 plus negative 9 is negative 7. So these are the two numbers that we are looking for. Therefore, we write here plus 2, and over there we write negative 9. Okay, lastly we have, how do we factor z squared minus 2z minus 24? So this is a general quadratic trinomial with a equal to 1. Therefore, the factors are two binomials. Then we have to get the square root of z squared, that's z. So we will have here z, and over there z. Now we have to look for two numbers. So we think of two factors of negative 24 that can add up to negative 2. What are the factors of 24? We have 1 times 24, but they won't add up to 2. How about 2 times 12? Nope. How about 3 times 8? Still no. How about 4 times 6? Possible. So let's consider 4 and 6. Since the third term is negative, we know that one of the numbers is positive and the other is negative. And since the second term is negative, we know that the larger number should be negative. So let's try to use positive 4 and negative 6 because again the larger number should be negative. Let's check. 4 times negative 6 is negative 24 and 4 plus negative 6 is negative 2. So these are the numbers that we are looking for, 4 and negative 6. So we write here plus 4 and minus 6. If you have any question, please leave a comment.